So I'm sitting here studying a tarot, and I figured I'd do like a quick video to explain like how I go about that. Although I would say that this is a little bit more of an easier section right now that I'm in, because I'm still in the majors. So I have a couple different. I should have grabbed them all, but I didn't. So this is the journal that I picked up for my study of the Hush Tarot. I don't know why my brain blanked. Just gonna. So this is sort of the like about the deck. Anything that I felt was important to note from the guidebook, which was just a quote from the guidebook itself. In the Hush Tarot, my characters are always on a journey. They appear to be lost in the weeds, but that isn't. But there's always a hidden clue guiding them to their way out. There is meaning in the direction, the way they look, the way they walk, and sorry, this is my dyslexia. I'm really good at like reading words, but trying to read and say the words is not a thing that I'm great at. But anyway, so I have this quote. Normally there'll be like other things that I found that I think are important to note to myself. So like this is where I will hang on. You know what? I decided to grab all of my study decks to kind of show you like what I'm talking about. So this one's really big, and I'm probably actually gonna like, I might include like multiple decks in this one, which is why I kind of have tabs. So this is my herb crafter study. So like here, I have like sort of about the deck, like things I took from the so this is, as you can see, I can fit a lot more text in here. I actually can fit like 2 cards on a page. Sometimes, not always, but I can generally fit multiple cards on a page because it's so much bigger, which is why I think that at some point this will be multiple decks in a study guidebook. But so right now, this is the Herb Crafters. But so like I'll note things like, so for this deck, the suits are different. Swords are air. I mean, they're just the elemental associations. So swords are air, wands are fire, cups are water, pentacles are earth. But then also the courts are retitled. And I also have that noted. I'm not gonna try to pronounce them because I believe they're Spanish. I feel like they are because I know that madres are mothers. So yes, they are Spanish. But yeah, so I have that. So I have this here. Although it's really hard to tell because I actually did this a different color. It's like a light green. I'm also, so the way that I typically study decks is that I will work on this guidebook on my like study notes while I'm actively working on the deck, which is why the farthest I've gotten in any of the decks, I believe, is the Tower. Yes. So this is my study guide for the Urban Tarot. This one I decided to like do more of a like cover page. I don't know why. And then all of my deck notes are here. So for this deck, I've noted that Strength and Justice are switched in their numbering. So Justice is 8 and Strength is 11. Temperance is art. Judgment is the Aron. Pages are princesses. Knights are princes. Because this is more Thoth. Ish, because Strength is still Strength and not Lust in this deck. But other than that, it follows the Thoth structure. So yes. So this deck is, which I also wrote, this deck is structured. This deck structure is heavily based on the Thoth, and it has a similar influence on the elemental associations as well as numerology. And then I also wrote a quote from or I don't even know if it was a direct quote from the guidebook, or if I just paraphrased it because I didn't put quotation marks, so I assume that I wrote it the way that I rephrased it. But it's I wrote, all readers are encouraged to let their intuition be their guide. And then I also filled it with some stickers because I had some room. But so all of my journals start with the key like art. The reason these ones don't have titles is because she actually has the art on her website as like a portfolio, so I just took them from there. But so we have like, actually, I'll find a better example. So typically, actually, you know what? I will actually just show but so yeah, so the other decks that I'm working on is the Johann Gjas, because it's based more in the Marseille tradition. So I have like the Above the deck. Also, I pick a group of pens that I just work with. So that's why there's a bunch of different colors, because I like to visually switch things up. Also, because it makes it a little bit more fun switching between pens than like not. Personally, to me, honestly. So I'm gonna work We're going to show you just the Hush one because that's what I'm actively working on, but I figured I would show you that it looks different depending on the deck a little bit, although the base format's still the same. So let's pick, so actually, yeah, we'll do with the Fool. So for the Fool, I actually just have a quote from the guidebook explaining why it's a ferret as the Fool. Because this makes sense for how like I read it. And then I write my own personal keywords for the Fool. And my like reversed, although I call them shadow keywords. And then, I don't know if you can tell, probably not this one, because the highlighter color I use is like a little weird. Let me see. This will be easier. So, so for these ones, because this is for the crafters, so because this one's a little bit different, it has all the symbols listed in the cards. So I write all the symbols. I then will, oh, this is also a slightly different setup than how I normally do. So here I have the symbols, then I have my keywords, and then my shadow keywords, and I highlight 2 keywords. So for the Fool in this deck, I have Possibilities and Enthusiasm. Basically, based on the guidebook and the card art itself, I pick 2 keywords that I feel like best fit with the energy of that particular interpretation. So for the Sunflower being the Magician in this one, I have Resourcefulness and Skill. But then again, because to this book, also then in this guidebook, they have very detailed explanations as to why they picked that flower or that plant. It's mostly plants. It's not so much flowers, but I then will copy that in here as well. So this one's a little bit more in-depth than some of my other ones. So like, and sometimes, the interpretations will fit really well for like how I already interpret it. So like, for example, I did the Hermit this morning for this deck, and it's a horned owl. In the guidebook, it talks about how horned owls are solitary creatures. So I wrote that quote about it being solitary creatures. But then I also added my own, like, why this owl makes sense to me, which is that owls are also a symbol of Athena, the goddess of wisdom, and weaving crafts. Because like we often because one of my keywords for the Hermit is internal wisdom. That going into self to learn, right? So then the keywords that I highlighted were solitude and inner wisdom. But then sometimes he'll be like, so then in like the Urban Tarot, for the High Priestess, I was having a really hard time with this image and how it related to how I typically read the High Priestess, right? And so I like worked that out journaling wise. The High Priestess is concerned with receiving and understanding, which the word, oh wait, nope. And that's from the guidebook. Well, the High Priestess is a card I know very well. I was unsure about how the art tied to my understanding. Realizing that being in tune with what one needs and without effort, like the mage, to have knowledge. Sorry. Apparently, I like don't bother to like properly punctuate things. So realizing that being in tune with what she needs and without effort, like the mage, to have that knowledge makes so much sense, right? So the idea that she just knows that she needs self-care and doesn't have to like effortlessly is in tune with herself and what she needs to take a bubble bath makes so much sense now to me. But yeah, again, this one, because I ended up having to do 2 pages, which meant more stickers. Also, I love it because it's a use to You're my little stickers that I've just been hoarding for forever. But yeah, so I literally just print off the art on my Canon Ivy, and I just, sometimes there's not a lot of like write-ups for me. It's just really picking the keyword, because sometimes, this Lovers card, like for me just like fits, how I typically read Lovers. So like there's not really a notes I need to make, but I still like assigning the keywords, because I think it's really helpful then for when I'm like, like obviously right now I'm just still working through the majors, and I think the majors are like a little bit easier for me. So like once I get into like the minors and I find myself struggling with the card, well, I already have highlighted what keywords to me make sense, right? So if I'm really struggling, I can go to this journal and I can look at the keywords that I've highlighted, right? And see if those help me maybe unlock something. But also I think again, once I get out of the majors, I think that really writing down how we're working through how I read the card and how that art might tie in to how I read the card, or might be completely different, I think is going to be very valuable and important. But for now, I'm still very much in the majors. Like I said, this is the, actually, hang on. Is this the farthest I've gotten? Let me double check. Because I know I got pretty far with this one. Let's see, where am I? I don't think so. Yeah. So, because here I'm at the Lovers. Here I just got to Justice today in my, yeah, I'm starting Justice. Here I think I'm only like the High Priestess. So yeah, this is the farthest I've gotten, and I set up a page for the start, and I haven't actually started yet. So I'm still very much, one of my goals for the first like 6 months of next year is to get to at least the minors in one of these decks. And given the fact that I literally started this like maybe like 2 months ago, and considering the fact that when I started with this month, I think starting when I decided that I was going to use the Hash Tarot for this month, I think I started with the Empress. I think I'd already done the Fool, the Magician, and the High Priestess. So the fact that I'm already at Justice, and we're only 7 days in the month, I think that maybe this will be the study guide that I get the furthest with, but we'll see. But yeah, I would at least like to get to the minors in one of these by the end of next year, or even like, again, 6 months, but you know, I'm not holding myself to it. But yeah, that's kind of how I've been like studying tarot, or at least studying decks that I find don't come as easy to me. There's a couple other decks that I want to study. I want to study the Sexual Magic Tarot. I want to, I don't know that I really want to, sorry, I'm pulling because right here. I don't know that I'm going to make like a study guide for the Greek Goddess Tarot, but I kind of want to. There's another deck that I'm not. Oh, I was like, there's another deck, and I'm like literally using it, the Flora. But I'm kind of decided that like 4 is enough right now. And like I said, I can probably fit multiple in this one for sure, and maybe one of these other ones, because I'm only using like a page a card, and I don't, does it say how many pages are in these? I don't think they do. These ones I literally just got like at the grocery store. So, oh yeah, they're 200 pages. So if I'm only using like a card a page, I could probably easily fit, hang on, can I? I mean, I probably can. My brain's not being able to do like math. Sorry, I was trying to figure out where my phone was so I could just like do math on my calculator. I don't know why I'm doing this here. You're all probably screaming at me like, yeah, Caitlin, no, you can totally fit 278 times 2. Yeah, because I can easily fit 2 tarot decks in each of these if I just continue to only use a page. And we'll still have pages left over. So, you know, and like even when like I do a fair amount. Oh yeah. Sorry. This is the Joan Joss. I don't know if the titles are still this way, because I have the 6th edition. But the suits are in Spanish or Portuguese. I don't know. They're not in English. So I also have, for my own like sanity, because sometimes I just like, if I put this deck away for too long, I will forget by looking at it. So having that here is very important. Yes, so yeah. But yeah, no, so that's my tarot journals. Like I said, I will easily be able to fit, and this actually I can probably fit more than, this one is 340 pages, and considering the fact that I'm literally like fitting 2 to 3 cards on a page, I think 2 cards per page, actually, more likely, ish. I will easily be able to put more decks in here. So, those are my study journals. This one I might be able to do a second journal in. I don't know. The thing is, like, I also know for this one specifically, because it's shorter, And once I get to the minors, there'll be a lot more because it does have the Thoth keywords. And I know that some of them trip me up. So there's gonna be a little bit more like sitting and really working through it and making like myself notes. So I thought this was gonna be a shorter video, and I'm looking at it like, oh, it's 14 minutes. But I guess thanks for hanging out.